Hey everyone, I'm Mr. Willis, and let's highlight the First Amendment. The First Amendment to the Constitution protects the essential rights of the American people to express their beliefs without being punished by the government. The First Amendment expressly protects the freedom of and from religion, the freedom of speech, the freedom of the press, and the freedom to peacefully assemble and petition the government. The first part of the amendment is focused on the Establishment and Free Exercise Clause. Written by James Madison, this clause grants Americans the freedom to practice any religion they choose in any way they see fit, but also prohibits the government from declaring a national religion. The founders wanted to steer the United States away from the system of religion that existed in England, where the Church of England, also known as the Anglican Church, is the national religion, and the monarch is the head of the church. Over the centuries, the Crown had used the church to prosecute members of other religions, leading to bloodshed and civil division. In order to avoid this situation, Madison added this clause that creates the whole idea of separation of church and state, which means our government should stay out of religion, and religion should stay out of government. The First Amendment makes it legal to believe in this, and even this, without the fear of prosecution by the government, but also prevents this from happening in the United States. The First Amendment also protects the freedom of speech and the freedom of the press. The freedom of speech is an essential American freedom because it allows for what we call open dissent. It is what allows us to say what we want and to criticize who we want without getting in trouble with the government. This doesn't mean that you can walk around accusing people of crimes that they didn't commit or post indecent pictures of people you don't like. But we are allowed to form our own opinions and disagree with our leaders without retribution or punishment. Freedom of speech also includes the freedom of expression, meaning you're able to express yourself in any way you would like by making signs or wearing symbolic armbands supporting your cause. It's important to note that the First Amendment protects your right to say whatever you want, but this doesn't keep you free from accountability from the public, your school, or your employer. There are many famous incidences of people getting fired for expressing their opinions when they differ from their employer, as well as cases of citizens being sued in court for falsely slandering another citizen. Freedom of the press goes hand in hand with freedom of speech and essentially allows the media to report on events and write openly about government and our elected officials without being silenced. The First Amendment also guarantees the freedom to assemble and petition the government. We have seen people petition the government throughout the history of our country, from supporters of women's suffrage to abolitionists to civil rights activists. Now, there's even a website called change.org where you can petition anything, including a petition to sell Montana to Canada for $1 trillion. The concept of this freedom is to allow people to demand a change in government when they believe that the government is not representing their needs and their best interests, without fear of retaliation. The First Amendment is vital in protecting the rights of the American people to challenge their government. The Founding Fathers knew the importance of the social contract and the fact that people needed to hold their government accountable. With the First Amendment, the citizenry has several protected ways to express their concerns and demand government address those concerns. Thank you so much for watching. That's the First Amendment, and this has been your History Highlight.